Good evening, and welcome to Storytime with Angelina. Tonight's story focuses on Disability, written by John Wood, published by Book Life. When part of someone's brain or body doesn't work the way it should, it might affect their ability to do certain things. We call this a disability. This boy here has something called cerebral palsy. Disabilities can be very difficult and cause continuous problems for the people that have them. When someone has a disability, it usually means that they have to do a few things differently from others. There are all sorts of different disabilities. Sometimes we can see them, and sometimes we can't. Sometimes a person has more than one disability. Some people are born with disabilities, and some people become disabled after a serious accident or illness, like a car crash. There are disabilities that make it hard or even impossible to walk, stand, or move around. Do you know what this is? A wheelchair. The doctor says my spine doesn't work properly. This means I can't feel my legs, so I use a wheelchair like this one every day. Natalie, age 8. Some staircases have lifts or elevators that can carry wheelchairs upstairs. There are also different toilets which are easier to use if someone has this kind of disability. Seeing and hearing. Some people can't see. People who can't see are said to be blind or partially blind. Try closing your eyes and remembering what was around you. Now imagine if you couldn't see anything like this all the time. Or you could only see a little bit, maybe outlines of things. That is similar to being blind. Matilda, age 5, says, "My mum has a guide dog and a long stick to help her walk around because she can't see." Some people have a hearing disability. When someone can't hear what people are saying well enough to understand them, we say that they are deaf, and they might wear something called a hearing aid. Disability and sports. Now, just because you're in a wheelchair doesn't mean you can't move around really fast. There are a lot of sports played by people in wheelchairs, like rugby and basketball. There are even sports for people with other disabilities, like blind football. Or, if you're in America, we call this soccer. Mei Ling, age 8, says, "My disability means I can't see. But when I grow up, I want to be a footballer." Hidden disabilities. Some disabilities can't be seen because they affect the brain. People with hidden disabilities might find it hard to get the help they need. This is because other people can't see their disability straight away. Dyslexia is a hidden disability. It can mean people that have trouble reading words and letters in the right order. And oftentimes, in schools, people with disabilities like this might get a tutor, someone to help them specifically with a subject that they're struggling with. Autism. Autism is another hidden disability, and people with autism often find it hard to understand the people around them or tell others how they feel. Some people with autism like to plan their day so they know exactly what is going to happen. It's a very structured schedule. Being autistic means you see the world in a different way. Some sounds or lights can feel too much for people with autism. They get a little overwhelmed. The colors might seem very bright, or sounds could seem a lot louder to people with autism. Anita says, "My teachers help me when I feel like this." Learning. Some disabilities, like Down syndrome, can affect someone's ability to learn. People with a disability like this find it harder to learn things in school. Down syndrome is a disability that people get at birth. Raj, age 6, says, "My sister has Down syndrome. We play together all the time. She especially likes to go swimming." Understanding disabilities. It can be difficult to live with disability, and some disabilities might make it hard to open doors, read a book, or say the right thing. This symbol here is a sign that points out things that will help disabled people, like bus seats or parking spaces. If someone finds something difficult, we should always try to help them. Louise, age 6, says, "My friend has a hearing disability. When we play games in the playground, I always make sure she understands the rules because she can't hear as well." What a good friend. Living with a disability. You might have a disability or know someone that does. Having a disability can be hard, but it doesn't mean you can't do everyday things, like going to school and playing with friends. A disability is only one part of someone's life. We're all different in one way or another. The important thing is to learn about these differences together. Be sure to ask your parents if you have any questions about the disabilities we discussed in here. And I hope you have a lovely evening. Good night.